Okay, today we were reviewing a 100 watt LED light, and this light is designed for outdoor usage. It's nicely flat packed. I imagine they get millions of these in a container. So it comes with an instruction manual, and it has 3 concrete masonry type anchors, which I assume are for these hole and 2 slots here. And it has a swivel thing here, so you could kind of set it up like that, although the instructions show it, being bolted to something or other. And it has a standard US 120 volt plug on it. Now this is Ip66 rated, so that's ingress protection 66. First is dust, which means no dust can get inside. The second is water, which means it's protected from water jets, or powerful water jets. It is not rated for underwater or submerged use, and obviously that would be dumb. Don't put this in your pool. I believe, I don't know, might be glass, might be plastic. They had a nice piece of foam protecting it, but it kind of clunks like plastic. Has a lot of LEDs in there, an aluminum base. It has, looks like a gland type connection on this guy here. Looks like a solid aluminum base with, I would say, some type of glue holding this glass in place. So it could be pretty darn well sealed. Now at the time of review, this guy was $19.99, marked down from $29.99. So we're looking at a $20 to $30 light here. It was sent to me for free as part of the Amazon Vine review program. So they have no editorial control over what I say about it. However, and they haven't paid me for it, but they did send it to me for free to review. Alright, let's put it through its paces, take a look at it. My household power supply is 110 volts and 60 hertz. Let's see how many watts this 100 watt LED panel draws. Okay, that's quite bright. I'm going to flip that over so you can see what's going on here. So it's at 90 here. I saw it peak about 95 or so. So it's drawing 90 watts out of the 100 watt specification. So that's pretty reasonable. That's just they're rounding up to a nice round number there. But this guy is drawing pretty close to what its rated wattage is. Now if we look at the power factor, it's a 0.66 power factor, and for that reason the voltamps is going to be a lot higher. So the voltamps is 136 because the power factor is not a 1. But the watts is what you really care for, because that's what you pay for, and that's 90. So if you budget 90 watts or 90 watt hours for an hour of light, that's what this guy is drawing. Now it did drop down just slightly there. I think over time as the light heats up, it might go slightly lower than 90. It's at 89.7 now. I'll let it run for 5 minutes, we'll see. Alright, it's been 5 minutes and this thing's gradually gone down. We're at 73 watts of draw, averaging. It still looks pretty darn bright. It's definitely hot to the touch. It would be uncomfortable to keep my hand on the back of this. So it's definitely pretty hot to the touch there. I'll probably run this thing for a 12-hour period and see temperature-wise how things go. The front is also pretty hot, so this guy definitely is dissipating a lot of the power as heat in addition to the light that it's putting out. So these instructions tell you you must not touch the lamp when it's running, otherwise you will be scalded. So it's a 100 watt light. It's LED, but just like you wouldn't want to touch a 100 watt incandescent light bulb, apparently it gets pretty hot. Must not be covered by combustible substances, must not be installed on a surface of the combustible substance. So apparently that's why they give you brick masonry things, is you're not supposed to screw this thing to a wood wall. I'll have to run it for a while and see just how hot this guy gets. Alright, the way I see this, because those holes don't go through, we have a stamped back, and the only way water could get in is through the gland around this cord or around the grooves there. So that's what I'm going to hit with my high pressure jet of water and see what we can do. Well, it lost that Ip66 rating a lot faster than I thought it was going to there. I wiped the water off of it, only to realize some of those drops of water on the inside. So we got a big drop there and here, and a set of drops right there and over here. If I had to guess, I'd say that came in the side of one of these guys, because I don't think spraying in the gland of the pipe, I think that would have gone in behind that white plastic thing. But yeah, there is definitely water inside there. So hey, this might be okay for rain, but it is not. The 6 is supposed to be high pressure water jets, and if you're a gonzo like me with that high pressure water jet, you can get water inside. So I think I'm going to wait a little longer before I plug this thing in, and maybe do it with a pair of rubber gloves. It's been about 6 hours since the water jet test, and there's still a lot of condensation and water buildup inside here, although the outside of the case is dried off. So I am going to take it outside. It's dusk right now, to give you an idea of how much light it throws outside, assuming it doesn't blow up when I plug it in. Okay, here we are outside at night, and I'm going to plug this guy in. Oh! And it did flash and go pop. So when that guy flashed and died, it had set off my GFCI circuit breaker here. It's been about 12 hours. There's still visible water inside, but since it tripped my GFCI, it's possible it's not entirely dead. I'm going to plug it in again and find out. Alright, here goes nothing. Aha, look at that. It tricked the GFCI, but it's still alive. Just need to dry out a bit. Over here it's drawing 95 watts when I first turned it on. Alright, so ambient in the garage is about 82 Fahrenheit. And this guy here is, 105 so far. It's only been on for a minute or two. If you're in centigrade, that's 28 in the garage centigrade, and 40-something centigrade for the light. Okay, the lamp's been running for an hour and 15 minutes, and its kind of steady state draw here is 68, 69 watts. So it still looks pretty bright. The ambient temperature in my garage is about 84 now, 83 Fahrenheit. And on this guy, we're up to 164, 167, 150. I've seen 165 here and there, but there's 166. So, 166 or so on the back of this guy. So that's definitely too hot to touch. It's not boiling water yet, but that is a lot of heat dissipation out of the back of this guy. For those of you in non-imperial countries, that is 28 centigrade for the ambient temperature, and say 69 centigrade, 70 centigrade, 71 centigrade for the case. Okay, this guy's been going for 4 hours. It's still drawing 68 watts, and the case temperature is still 169, 171-ish. So it's pretty hot, but it's stabilized at that 168, 170 degrees Fahrenheit temperature. So the temperature doesn't flow down this mounting bracket very much. I can hold on to the mounting bracket, and as long as I don't get too close to the case, it's not too hot. But that case is hot. I'm not burning myself here, but that's only because I'm moving my hand off of it relatively quickly. So this guy, puts out quite a bit of heat in addition to the light that it's putting out. Alright, this is a view outside at night, and you can kind of see, this is what this light illuminates. So it is plenty bright to illuminate a large area outdoors. So here's a tree canopy. I can point it up there and you can see quite a bit of that tree canopy. Alright, I just temporarily clamped this above my workbench, and you can see that it is providing plenty of light to work on this workbench here, and this is the only source of light in the room. Okay, so this thing's been turned on for 10 hours, and you can still see there's a little bit of water trapped inside there. But it has been running for 10 hours, and it draws 68 watts average,
It's not IP66. It might be IP64, maybe IP65, but definitely not IP66. It gets very hot to the touch. You know, the black case you would not want to touch, but it does put out a lot of light, and it's quite inexpensive. So if you have a place where it's okay that it gets too hot to touch, and it doesn't get exposed to strong jets of water, you're probably going to be pretty happy with this light. I've run it for 10 hours or so and it hasn't died yet, so I can't speak to the long-term longevity, but it seems to be doing pretty well.